What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of This Hits Different, hosted by yours truly, Riley Nelson. Okay, that was stupid. Honestly, screw it. We're gonna leave that. So, you guys, it is spooky season, and I am so excited to get into this episode today with my guest, Lotto Marie. Lotto is a hilarious comedian. However, before we get into that, let me tell you guys a little bit about what went down trying to get the last episode recorded. So if you notice, I am kind of in like some glam. I got my red lips on. I don't know why, I just thought that would be kind of fun. But I'm about to record the Halloween special episode. And I actually already recorded it. And then when I went to go edit, everything was gone. Literally, video was gone. I lost over 50% of the episode. So I was like, that really sucks. But I'm actually a little grateful because I actually want to make it better. But before we jump into today's episode, I'm going to keep the intro as short as I can because Lotto and I were yapping. Like, it was fun. We had a really good conversation, but we talked a lot. It is a long episode. So get comfy, cozy. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me. And I'm going to give something else out a little try. Lately, I've really been into the Reddit story, the TikToks of them, and I've been listening to a lot of podcasts doing Reddit. For the Patreon, I am going to do some Reddit reading stories. I think that y'all are really going to enjoy them. This one is going to be a spooky episode. So this is going to be on the Patreon, so you need to go check it out there. You can go sign up for it right now. I believe it's free, but after that, it'll be less than $5 a month. Seriously, guys, it will be nothing. I'm going to do some Reddit stories because I really love them. We're going to do some ghost stories, campfire kind of vibes for the Reddit episode. So that's going to be on Patreon. So keep an eye out for that. And in the next few weeks, the Halloween special episode is coming out. I met Lotto at Jared Freed's comedy stand-up show in Austin, Texas a few weeks ago. First of all, her set was hilarious. I was crying laughing. It was so funny. And I loved her. I loved talking with her. She mentioned that she was from Houston, and immediately I was like, oh my God, I have to get this bitch on my podcast. And so I got the opportunity afterwards to talk with her. And I was like, hey girl, you're from Houston. So am I. I would love to have you on my podcast. Lotto is on tour with Jared Freed. He's a hilarious comedian. He has his own podcast. Jared is a very renowned comedian. He just had his first Netflix special, and he is now on the road with Lotto, and she is his opening act. She is hilarious. She is so driven. She is so passionate. And I had such a delightful conversation with her. She's been pursuing comedy since 2017. So far in 2024, she has been featured on 2 major comedy tours, Bubba Dub's I Paid Myself tour and Jared Freed's Family Business tour. Her TV credits include appearances on Fox TV and BET. Or is it BET? Oh God, I sound so white right now. It's BET. It's BET. Okay. That was stupid. Lotto Marie is a renowned comedian, engaging speaker, and versatile actress based in Houston, Texas. Her performances are not only hilarious, but also tailored to resonate with diverse audiences, making her the perfect choice for corporate gigs. Whether it's a keynote speech, a corporate comedy show, or a special appearance, Lotto brings a blend of humor and insight that leaves a lasting impact. Maybe you're here from Lotto's following. Hi guys, I'm Riley. I'm from This Hits Different. But anyways, I am so excited to show you guys my interview with Lotto Marie. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into that interview. It is the moment that we have all been waiting for. I am joined here today with the one, the only Lotto Marie.
Come on, clap it up. Everybody in the studio is clapping.
I know. I'm gonna like cue a little sound thing. It's like, yay! A bunch of claps.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, I'm super excited. This is something that doesn't normally happen. You meet people and they're like, oh my gosh, I have a podcast. I want you on it. And they're like, dope, when? And then you never hear from them again. And so we are here.
Well,
I am touching you. I see a
know.
microphone. I see cords. I was sketched when I arrived.
I know. I told you. I was like, and I would have been too. That's why I texted you. I was like, I need to give her a little heads up because the studio, like, it's okay. So this area is like nice. It's like rustic,
it's
historic, but the area getting to this area is not.
It's not even that though. This area is very closed.
Mm-hmm.
So when I think of, I don't know, sex trafficking, I think that you get them in a closed area. Like, I don't know everything.
No, I literally was like, I have to tell her and give you a heads up because I knew that you were gonna feel sketched, and because I would have too. Honestly, I would have been like, should I turn around? I'm about to get murdered. My biggest fear always is that I'm gonna get murdered.
Not murdered.
Oh, no, murdered. I watched way too much true crime though.
Oh no. See, I'm scary. So was that, oh no. Yeah, I was in Austin. I watched a couple of Netflix shows, movies.
Oh, yeah.
The Menendez brothers.
That was so good.
It was. I watched that one, and then I watched Aaron Hernandez, and then I watched the one where the lady broke her dude out of jail. It's also on Netflix. Anyway, they're all semi-real. They're all pretty real.
Yeah.
So I have to show you a picture of the chair up against the door in my hotel room.
Oh my, okay, so there's like all these things that I see. I've seen this on TikTok like a handful of times. So there's like a lot of flight attendants who will, they have all the,
yes.
they have all the things. You should probably get that.
No,
It's good for the bit, honestly.
Yeah, for that in a sense. But if I gotta lock all this, like, what am I doing here? Do you see the stuff they be doing? Like, I just started locking the door because of those videos. I would just walk in, like, you ain't got a key, you can't get in here. But I guess
when you were staying in hotels, you like didn't like lock the door behind you?
Never.
Oh, no ma'am.
Never.
No ma'am.
Thank you, TikTok, for
No, the girls on TikTok, they have like the little door things that like you put under the door, and if anyone opens it, it like sets off an alarm, and like I don't know. There's like
they have everything. They
thing.
they cover up the peephole. Like, I never even think, is there a peephole, peeping Tom walking through the hotels?
Don't most of them? Oh no, I guess they don't. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Oh, the little.
Some of them have like the.
Yes. Some of them do have the thing. But
That's
I stay in a lot of hotels. Yeah, with comedy, I stay. I tour.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing. So I stay in quite a few hotels a year, and I definitely think I take things for granted.
Yeah. Well, I guess I should probably say to everyone, Lotto is a stand-up comedian.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit more about how you got into stand-up and what made you decide to take the jump from, just doing it for fun and then being like, I want to pursue this.
So I've been in stand-up comedy for 8 years. This is my 8th year in comedy. It started off, I just wanted to MC and host events. So my original stage name was MC Lotto.
Oh, that's cute.
Yes.
And you have it tattooed.
Yes. And it was, again, because I wanted to MC and host events. And somebody was like, you're kind of funny. Why don't you try to do stand-up? So I went to an open mic. I think I was talking about toilet paper and how expensive it is and as an adult, because this was around Christmas.
I was going to say, is this like 2020-ish?
It was 2016-ish, technically.
What was going on in 2016 where people were hoarding toilet paper? Well, I don't remember that until
the thing is that it was around Christmas. So I was like, for gifts, get me stuff like toilet paper and paper
the
towels.
Shit that you don't want to buy for yourself.
Yes.
That's a good bit.
Yeah. And so that was like the first thing that I was talking about. And I felt weird because I was up there randomly talking about, you know what I mean? I didn't know what I was doing. And then I want to say like 4 months later, it just clicked. Like one day I just was like, you know what? I'm not going to read the stuff I have written down. I'm just going to go off the top of my dome. And I just started making fun of the people in the audience. And that went really well. And I think about a year and a half into it, I was like, I really want to do this. Like, I was doing it and I was getting paid, but it was fun. It was like I turned and morphed into something else. So you fast forward now to my 8th year, I've had the opportunity. You met me through Jared Freed.
Yeah.
And so I met Jared in January in Houston at the Houston Improv. And I was his opener. The club asked me if I wanted to open up for him. I had no idea who he was. And me and him connected and clicked in the back, and he thought I was dope. He actually watched my set, asked me to send him a couple tapes, and asked me to do something clean one night, and I did it. And then he invited me to come on some tour dates with him.
Yeah.
And that has been a dope experience.
I can only imagine. I mean, Jared's awesome. Girls Gotta Eat is my favorite podcast.
Yes.
And I think I discovered Jared through that, and then through their obviously his other shows, but I didn't actually think that you would ever come on. I come from a background in music industry and music and entertainment. And I can't tell you how many times I've been with an artist or I'm with someone. You never know.
Yeah.
I've had some pretty high up, I was in Nashville, so high up country stars where I'm like, hey, if you want to come on my podcast, like just saying.
So do you take your board with you everywhere?
No. Okay. I'm always, if I like have a chance to meet them. So when I was living in Nashville, it was a lot easier, obviously, because I'm around it. I'm around the entertainment industry
all the time.
So I always.
That's right. That's what the podcast was stemmed around, music.
Yeah,
that's
we're
right.
kind of in a rebrand right now. I don't really know what the hell I'm doing.
Well, what do the people want? And that's where you got to start. You got to start with what you want and what do the people, because don't we have to give them, don't we have to service them or find our people? So it is about our niche, but I do think it's important to pinpoint a niche.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I kind of don't have one right now. For a while, so it was music, and I was interviewing artists, talking about new and upcoming music, but I've moved home so I can pursue like traveling and doing some more like stuff abroad. But
that's right. She wants to move
to Australia.
I don't even know what podcast happens in Australia, but I'm sure there is a podcast that happens in Australia. But homegirl wants to leave. Where you were just in Austin. How was your time in Austin?
Oh, it was awesome. I love Austin. I go there like every other weekend.
Are you going this week?
Potentially.
This is the music festival week, right?
No, it was weekend 2 just finished.
Oh, I thought it was this week.
It was this past weekend for ACL.
ACL?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was this week. So that happened, and then Usher went there. Because Usher was just there.
Really?
Like, oh, maybe he was there last week. I think he was there last week. That's crazy.
Because ACL weekend 1, so weekend 2 was this past weekend. Weekend 1 was the one before. Okay. Yeah.
There's a lot of music there, I guess is the point.
There's a lot of music in Austin. I go there a lot. My sister lives there, so one of the girls that was with me that night, and she was with she lives there, so I go up there all the time. Yeah. I'm trying to find like local Austin artists, but like I haven't found anyone. And I mean, if you're listening to this and you're in Austin, hit me up. But I haven't found anyone that has been serious enough, if that makes sense.
I understand with that. So you need somebody that's like full time.
Yes, because like being in Nashville and recording in New York and LA, it's like people have uprooted their entire lives.
I understand what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
So there's that market there for comedians.
In Austin?
In Austin.
Really?
Right. There's a large community of comedians that have moved from other places to go to Austin for opportunities because there's a lot of, there's the new comedy club that's there, and then there's the Kill Tony podcast is there, and there's a lot of industry that's there now. So
wasn't
even podcasts,
Joe Rogan there now?
Yes, Joe Rogan has his comedy club there.
Dear Media is there.
Yes.
I'm trying to get connected. Another plug. If you're watching this and you're with Dear Media, hit me up. I can't figure out how to get anybody's like.
But I think it's about
I don't know how to pitch myself to companies.
It's about going to the community, and you have the opportunity to because your sister lives there.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, let me pick. So for me, Kill Tony's on Mondays, and then I think the open mic is also on a Monday too for Joe Rogan spot. And then there are things that happen on like a Tuesday. So it's like I would go Sunday through Wednesday.
Yeah.
And just mix and mingle. Like you just gotta mix and mingle. So you gotta figure out where like the performers are performing or like where there's open mic, and then you find better performers and vice versa. But it's definitely about being in the glass and not looking in, trying to get in.
Yeah, I try to catch people while they're on tour, but it is a little bit difficult with touring schedules because it's kind of like hit or miss. It's a lot of times it's a pretty quick turnover, and other times there's a lot of downtime. I don't know.
I can see how that would be an issue, but I definitely think hopping in them DMs. How often are you hopping in DMs?
All the time, constantly.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, I see you're coming to Austin.
Everyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All the time.
Dope. Yeah.
I mean, I guess it just depends. Some people answer, some people don't.
Yeah.
I'm used to people just kind of like blowing me off. But you know how it is in entertainment. You're just kind of like, no. Okay, you just keep going. And I'm like, one step closer to the yes.
Yeah. Well, 8 years in now, I'm more of a big deal than I previously was. Like, I'm still not Jared, right?
Yeah.
But to be able to tour with somebody like Jared gives you certain, status in a sense.
Well, yeah, and it gets you in the door. It gets you in front of people. And
so, like, these venues that I've been to, some dope venues, these people know me at these venues because of being with him.
Yeah.
So it's like, then I'm a good person. I'm funny on stage. Yeah. So all of those things just help that bucket of everything. So, I mean, I think it takes time though. And that's the thing too. Like you do have to put in the time, and I put in the time and the work to get to this point. And I know that the next level is coming. And that level is me and mine's, and and that possessive of me being able to go and be all that I can be on my own, and then be able to bring somebody else on with me.
You started doing hosting and doing MCing. I don't know.
There
if
you
that's
go.
like,
ING.
I'm like, that didn't sound right as it was like coming off.
Oh, you said Diddy. I thought you was about to say Diddy. Oh, wait a minute.
No, we do not talk about that man on this podcast.
Thank you. All right.
Anyways, fuck P. Diddy.
Oh, he will take that. So take that. But
take it. I don't know. I'm like, come for me, bitch.
Yeah, I tried to put in that. I tried to put in some allegations too. Like everybody was putting it in. Shit, he can't remember everybody he touched.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, oh, got me on tape.
Just pay me and I'll walk away, Diddy. Just pay me, but they wouldn't take it because they said I didn't have evidence. So
they like couldn't prove that you were there.
Yeah,
at the time,
I was like, man, come on, let me get in there. Come on. I'm gonna walk away with just a couple thousand, like $10,000, and I'm settled.
Honestly, that would like really change my life right now. It's so sad.
Dang it, I should have got invited.
I know. I'm like, okay, if only I could have been in LA.
That's pathetic. That you're saying a Diddy party could have changed my life now. Like
both for the good and bad.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You started hosting and doing MCing.
Yes, there we go.
MCing.
Yes.
I don't know why that just doesn't sound right to me as it's coming out.
MCing. It is a word. MCING.
Yeah. So anyways, you started doing that and got into comedy through that. What made you decide that you liked being on stage, and like what made you realize that you were comfortable to do that?
So prior to that, I was always the person that spoke for the family. So if we're having something, somebody needs to go up. And then I was also in other organizations, and I was like the vice president of one. And we would have these galas or something, and I was one of the key speakers or hosts of the event. And literally, I was at a poetry show, and I watched two different poets host two different events, and they were having so much fun. Like, they were making the crowd laugh a lot, and they just seemed like they were being naturally themselves, and I just felt like that was something I could do, and I wanted to do it. So when I started to get on the mic and be on stage, it wasn't really like a look at me.
Yeah.
It wasn't even, I just enjoyed doing it.
Yeah.
But now, like, I get excited to like share for my time to go up there. Like, and then I can watch myself over and over. I don't know. Do you watch your podcast?
Sometimes, I mean, I have to watch it a lot when I'm editing.
Right.
So usually by the time it's out,
you're
I
over
have a
it.
hard time doing it, but it's really like messed up because I need to watch my own podcast for my algorithm, because when the Spotify Wrapped comes up at the end of the year and I'm not in it, I'm like, I don't know what's worse, if I'm not in my own top podcast or if I am.
That's like liking your post on Instagram and Facebook?
Yeah, I guess, kind of.
Okay, dang. Okay.
But also, I feel like I need to like listen to my own stuff to like boost my algorithm. You know?
No. I mean, I think that definitely is a strategy. You know, people are using bots, and that doesn't count.
I know, that's the frustrating thing. You see all these people, like musicians and stuff, and they have like low streams, so they have great stuff. Sometimes you see people who have like shitty music and they have really high streams, and that's all anyone goes off of. But then you actually look at the streams and they paid for them, and it's really obvious when they do.
Yeah, well, yeah. I think numbers are down completely overall. But okay, have you seen the infomercial commercials where there's they have production rooms where there's a bunch of cameras or phones set up in a room, and is that real?
Oh, like the ones in like China and India?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I wouldn't be surprised that that's probably how they get the streams and the views and everything.
We see them, and I'm just like, sometimes I think that the internet, and this is my thing, like the internet is such a fake place. That's one of the things that I struggle with. I love what I do on stage. Like, I enjoy myself. I hardly ever am like, what the hell was that? I really typically have fun, even if I'm down and out and everything. It's something about this microphone. When I hold it, when I get on there, it just changes everything. Like, I can have bubble guts, I can have a headache, whatever it is. It's like, there's like superpowers, and it's like, it just morphs into something else. But when it comes to the cameras and the phones and recreating, there's just this
authenticity.
Yes. And the internet is so fake. I spend time on it, yes. But I see so many things now, especially now that I have the knowledge, and I'm like, they're just making up shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Clickbait.
And you know what? I'm fucking guilty of it too.
Yeah.
Will say sometimes I'll put
It's
the caption,
changing.
or sometimes, well, I'm not like that with products
Right,
and shit
yeah.
like that. But I do find myself sometimes. I mean, usually it's a crazy fucking story because I do a lot of like dating stuff too. There's one where I'm like, I ruined this first date, and then go into the story because it's okay. There's the grab, there's the clickbait, like,
and that's,
you know, that kind of stuff.
That's a strategy that I need to incorporate. Like, this is the thing. So when I first started doing comedy, I wasn't great.
Yeah.
You know, I was
No one's great at anything when they first start.
Exactly. But this is my thing. The time that it took me to learn to be better at comedy, to understand, and there's still so many things that I need to learn in comedy. Like, there's, you know, I've been to several different cities with Jared, and I still watch his set. I watch
I
at
saw
least.
you come out and watch it.
Yes.
I was like, I didn't know if you were gonna come out after. I didn't know that he was gonna even like do the meet and greet thing after, because I didn't know he did that, and
He's really big on that.
But I saw you come out, and I was like, should I go talk to her now? And then I was like, no, that would be rude. It's like the middle of his set. But when I found out that you were from Houston, I was like, I gotta get this bitch on the podcast.
Yes, yes.
So I was like, how do I go about this? And then afterwards, when they were walking around and you were walking around, I was like, fuck yeah. I was like, I'm gonna grab her. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your story.
No, you're good. No, that's true though. Like, all of it is relevant.
So this feels like a good place to take a little pause and tell you guys all about Brenda McMillan Photography. Today's episode is recorded at Brenda's studio. It is in Houston, Texas. So if you are local to Houston, definitely go check her out. Brenda McMillan is a phenomenal photographer from Houston, Texas. Her passion for capturing a moment is unmatched. She cares and loves her clients so much, and she loves to capture that perfect, sweet moment between you and the camera. Whether it's professional headshots, family photos, seniors photos, team photos, any photos that you need, Brenda McMillan is your girl. Like I said, today's episode is sponsored by her, and we are recording at her studio. She was gracious enough to let me rent it from her. If you are in the Houston area, like I said, go check out Brenda McMillan Photography. I promise you will not regret it. She actually even did my headshots, so go ahead and book now with Brenda McMillan before it is too late and her books fill up.
There's still so many things that I have to learn, and I guess what I was just getting to is that the time that it took me, you know, it took me 8 years to get to this point, and now I just need to invest. Like, you see, I have all the trinkets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm getting the trinkets, and now I have to sit down and learn how to use them.
It sucks. I hate learning. Like, I mean, I love learning, but I hate like
I heard the new way
technical stuff. Like, I'm a creative. I'm the personality. I like to be in front of the camera. I like to be on stage. I do not like to sit down and edit.
Yes.
I hate it, but I do it.
I do think there's an importance of having a team.
Oh, 100%. But I can't pay anyone right now.
Right.
So that's the thing. We're like dead broke at this point.
Yeah.
Like negative broke.
You need somebody that believes in the dream.
I know. I'm like, hey, any investors too?
Yeah.
That's why I keep going back and forth on like whether or not I'd like to get my podcast signed, because you're like selling your soul. But then I'm also like, I need funding. I need a team. I need help. I've done so much on my own, and I'm so incredibly proud of that, and I'm proud of what I've been able to do.
Congratulations. I'm proud of you too.
But like, I need help. It's at the point where I'm like, I can't do it all.
Well, can you look in the camera and tell the camera I need help?
I need help. Slow zoom in. I'm going to edit that on CapCut.
Hey, that should be the intro.
Yeah. I need help.
I need help too. We need help.
Okay.
Okay, that sounded like somebody should help us after that. Like, individually, together, collectively, whatever it takes, we want it. Okay.
I know. But yeah, so like I kind of go back and forth. I'm like, I would love to get it signed. Like, even like I not ran into, but like when I was in Nashville, they opened a Barstool like sports bar, and
they do comedy shows at those places too.
Yeah. And Dave Portnoy was there, and the hood rat in me was friends with the bouncers.
Oh yeah, that's
my ass. I walk up to them. I'm like, "Hey, Chaz, give me the Dave Portnoy."
And you got in?
I did. He walked my cute ass up.
Who rat, make moves, bro.
Yeah, I know, and that's what I did the whole time. That's why I went out every weekend, because I was for
Don't
that
try
moment.
to make an excuse. I I was thinking about it. No, you wasn't. You was
future
turning
moment.
up.
No, but there's a lot of like celebrities and people who go to Barstool. So occasionally, like you'll run into people and like. I mean, I didn't do it for I was a hood rat. Like I was out like partying every weekend in Nashville, but I was like trying every time like there would be like famous people like Tate McRae's there and fucking these TikTok stars.
I can see that because one of the things is like you go to city, like I don't want to just be in a room. Not to say that sometimes I don't just need to relax in a room, but I do like to go out, right? The problem for me is now I don't drink. I don't drink anymore. It's been 5 years. I don't drink liquor anymore. I do indulge in herbal
therapy.
Yeah, therapy. I love that. Yeah, herbal therapy. But I don't necessarily just trust everyone with that.
No, 100%.
Yeah, but I like to go out. We were in Cleveland, Ohio with Jared last month. And it was a good time. Mm-hmm. And I left the venue. It was like a 2-minute walk to my room. And I just wanted more. I'm like, what else is there to do? Like, I just had this.
I don't know where I am. Like, where do the cool people go?
Like, I just had 5 dope shows. Like, I think I had 6 because
and you're on an adrenaline high from that too. You're like, your body is like,
and I just wanted. And this is, I don't care. This is a podcast. We're having fun, whatever.
We're real on this show.
And
I just told my whole story on here. I way overshare on this podcast. Anyways.
But I'm just like, where are the drugs? Like, where? Give me the cocaine. Like, where the crack at? Like, I don't even, heroin. I don't do drugs like that. But you just are, I'm being honest. In that moment, that day, I'm like, I see why or how people get addicted to drugs. Yeah. Because you don't want to come down from the high. I don't even do pills. Like, I get a headache. Like, I just pray for it to go away or lay down.
Oh, no, I'm popping Tylenol.
Yeah, I'm not good at swallowing pills. So I prefer liquid medicine. So, like, I have to do, like, children's liquid medicine. Because
children's Tylenol?
Yeah.
It's
but
like the little
Hey,
shot.
I'll take a whole bottle of that thing. Like, if I have to. But, I mean, I try not to get sick. But sometimes, I get dehydrated. I don't drink enough water. Or maybe even exhaustion. Those type of things do play a role.
Yeah.
So I will take a pill, but I really am not good at it. So I am not worried about ever becoming addicted. But just that day in that moment, I just remember thinking like, what did we do next? And and I know I went to the room and took a shower. And so that was what I took a shower in the dark to kind of like mellow my brain out. Yeah.
You know what I do? I take freezing cold showers when I'm about to have a panic attack, and that snaps me right out of it. Oh yeah. I got really comfortable on a stage at a very young age. Obviously not comedy, but like you are kind of doing crowd work in between. You're talking with the audience.
It's all about being personable.
Yeah. And I grew up doing that. When I switched to podcasts, I always knew that I wanted to launch one. I realized when I was in college that I didn't want to do music, and I was like, what's next? But I was like, I have this like desire to perform still. And when I launched the podcast, it was really weird because I was like, oh, I have to like perform and be on for an hour or hour and a half, however long I'm recording. But I have no energy to feed off of. I have to keep it going.
Right.
So it's really funny because because you don't have anything to feed off of when you're doing this way of performing, I literally crash afterwards. Like, I'm done recording and I'm like, I have nothing left to give.
Oh, wow.
Like, I'll get in the car and I'll just be like.
That's how it is when I do private gigs. When I do, this is something that I've just found out about myself in the last 2 years. When I do, a majority of the time when I do a private gig for like a family or something like that, I am exhausted.
Because you're like having to work it.
The whole time.
Yeah.
Like I'm working the crowd. Like and what it is it's your energy.
Yeah.
And I guess it's probably the same, but I'm giving my energy to this crowd of individuals and I'm like on. Like you're not paying me to just sit down and look at y'all. You know what I mean? Like a kid may talk to me and they're going to get a personality.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's just who I am overall. I think sometimes I just need a reset.
Yeah. Do you consider yourself an introvert or an extrovert?
So I am naturally an extrovert, but I do have to recharge.
Yeah. Okay. So I actually really don't know that much about it. I've heard that what is the deciding thing is how you recharge, apparently.
Okay. That's you're teaching me something now.
Apparently that would mean that you're an introvert, but I don't know. I feel like
So we gotta
but I feel
Google
like
that.
everyone kind of needs to recharge alone.
I need to Google that because
I don't know.
I've always classified myself as an extrovert because, and the only reason I say it is because I love talking to people.
Yeah.
So I will talk to every stranger. I went to the spa and we are in the spa naked, and everybody probably ain't trying to talk. When
You're steaming your yoni.
yeah, when you're like naked, like, and I'm just like, hey girl, like,
Like, hey bestie.
and I'm like not even.
Every vagina is different. I'm like, yeah, but like,
Is this a good
is
one
this
though?
a good
Like
one?
that,
Like, you stare at pussy all day.
Yeah,
you tell me.
like be honest. Like if you had to, rate it on a scale from 1 to 10, like yeah. Like leave my thing. Like what do you think?
You're on tour right now, and how does that look? Are you just hopping on shows and you're doing openings for Jared, or I actually know nothing about touring and comedy.
That's actually a good question that I don't think a lot of people ask. People look at things differently, and this just goes back to how I feel about the internet being fake.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes, and this is my perception. This is coming from me. I don't think this is in Webster or anything like that. I noticed that people consider touring anything where you're going from city to city.
Okay.
I personally don't view it that way.
Okay.
I view a tour as like a set tour. Jared is on a set tour. It's called the Family Business Tour.
Mm-hmm.
And it's booked or ran through, his agency, and they literally call these places and they set up a tour.
Mm-hmm.
So prior to even doing that with him, and even still, I've been traveling for years in comedy. What I would do is I would go on runs. So I'd be like, I'm going to go to Atlanta in June, right? I would sketch out dates. I had a full-time gig and I would arrange time to be off, or, I was working remote and I would say I'm going to be in Atlanta June from this date to this date. Then I would reach out to the connects and comedians I have there and I would say, hey, I'm going to be in town. I'm looking to get booked on any shows. I would do, okay, that'd be June is Atlanta. Then I would go to New York in August. So, and people looked at that as I was on tour.
Mm-hmm.
I don't view that as a tour.
You're not doing like the same material every night.
No, like, and I'm like, what I'm really doing is building a name for myself in these other places.
Mm.
So I went to New York for the entire month of June this year. I've been to several different places, and I typically try to spend like a week. And I was working remote, so I would always start with the places where I had connections.
Mm-hmm.
My best friend lives in St. Louis. She used to live in Atlanta, so you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I have a good friend that lives in Detroit, so I can do a run in Detroit.
You got places to stay for free.
Yes. So, and then I had to hook up at the Marriott. Again, I need help. So I need a Marriott plug again. I promise you I will not be on any foolishness. I will pay you a stipend to say that I am your daughter or your wife, your husband, whatever I gotta be.
I'm going to title this episode, I Need Help.
I need help.
We need help.
Yes,
we need help.
We need help. And so, getting back to that, that's just my perception. I don't view that as touring, but a lot of people have been like, you're doing big things, you're on a tour. And they've been saying this to me prior to, like, now. I've been to 6 different cities with Jared, so I did add that to my resume. There's also a guy named Bubba Dub. He's pretty, he has a large following on social media. He's a stand-up comedian. He's a personality, honestly, a sports entertainer. And so I've been able to be a part of his tour for the last 2 years or so. And for that one, in both of them, it's like, hey, I see you're going here. Do you have any room for me? And so that just works out, or has been working out. I haven't had the pleasure of somebody saying, hey, I want you to come on. I think that will be the next level for me. But in the interim, I'm doing this. I'm doing the podcast. I'm learning more about the social media, and I'm putting the foot to the metal in that regard, because some people, and this is the thing, everybody wants something different.
Yeah.
There may be somebody that doesn't want, like you said, that you want to be entertaining. You got to find somebody that wants to be behind the camera, wants to edit, or that sort of thing. So for me, I'm real big on like encouragement and pushing and pulling people. And, I'm fine if somebody else makes it, but I also enjoy this.
Yeah.
I love it as well. So I do want to plant my feet in the sand. I don't necessarily just want to be somebody's opener.
Yeah.
But I understand it's their tour.
Yeah.
And so, I go out, I introduce them, I talk highly, and I appreciate, and I sit and I listen and I learn, because the next step is also that for me.
You're getting
exposure.
almost like a degree in the next step and where you want to go.
Yeah.
So what is your ultimate I mean, obviously career goals change, but what is your ultimate career goal with this?
When I first started comedy, a year and 2 years in, you would do interviews. We really weren't doing a lot of podcasts, but we were doing 8 years ago. We were doing a lot of interviews or internet radio. So I guess kind of the same. I guess as it is the same thing. But I remember this question being brought up a lot. Like, where do you see yourself? What are your goals? And I remember, and this is where I came up with my slogan. I just want to win. That is my slogan. I have it. Is it on this? Yeah. I just want to win.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that is, that's where it started. It's like I didn't know. I didn't have a vision. And so now, 8 years in, every day I manifest, and I have a slogan, or what do they call it? There's an affirmation that I say.
Oh yeah.
At 1:22. My alarm goes off every day. 1:22. That's like my.
What's the significance behind that?
1:22. It's actually my birthday.
Oh,
but
fun.
22 has been my spirit number. Like it's been my angel number.
Yeah.
It's like the angels keep going. The angels are telling me that I'm going in the right direction and I'm on the right path. And 122 is just in line with that as well.
Yeah.
And so the manifest or it's I'm delusional about my dreams, and I'm confident and positive that I am going to acquire and obtain the things that I desire. And
that's your manifest?
That is my manifest. And
I love that.
Making content comes easy to me, and I'll be at 20,000 very soon.
Nice.
So I say that every day at 122. And what that does is like, I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe that I'm going to be, and I'm going, like, I feel it.
Like, you just have, like, I understand. And I've actually talked about this on the podcast. I'm like, I know it sounds like so, like, fucked up and, like, weird, but, like, I know that this is what I'm supposed to do. I just know it's going to work out.
It is.
Like, I also know, and I trust myself. I'm a hustler.
You just gotta figure it out.
Restaurant. Like, I'll do whatever I have to like keep going and keep supporting myself. I've managed to get this far doing that, and it just kind of like is what it is. Like, I'm just gonna figure it out as I go.
Right.
That being said, I do have like a few things. There's always room for change and growth. Maybe one day I'll want to go back to music. Who the hell knows?
Right.
That is very possible. Maybe.
Do you play any instruments?
I play piano and sing, but mostly vocalist. Got my little treble clef right here.
So this came from me, Lotto Marie. I could see a keyboard somewhere, even if you started off with a small one, and like
For what? The podcast?
yes,
Do music on the pod?
yes. Like it could be like an intro, outro. It could be a segment.
Well, okay. So actually, fun fact: my theme song for the podcast is my voice.
Oh, I love it.
And one of my friends is a producer. So one day we just worked on a track. He made the beat and everything, and I sang. And I was like, he was putting in some fills, and some like already pre-recorded stuff, and we kind of had like how it was gonna go. And then I was like, Zach Jordan, everybody. But I was like, Zach, I really want it to be my voice on it. So like my theme song is like,
dope.
I am very hands-on in that. I've created everything, the logos, general idea, the brand, everything. And then my dad is like kind of honed it and made it like things that can actually go on web and print.
I love it.
But yeah.
So I'm in the process of starting a podcast with someone.
I was going to ask if you've ever thought about getting into podcasting.
Yes.
Because I know that's like really big in stand-up comedy.
And that's a part of like, the conversations that I have with Jared and that sort of thing, because that's one of the ways that he, got it to this point is the podcast. He's been doing his for over 10 years, the J-Tran podcast, and, he has multiple now.
Yeah.
And so what it is, it's a vehicle for people to see you. There's a comedian here. His name is Chinadu. Absolutely very funny. He has a large presence on social media, and he does stand-up. He does more social media than stand-up. And he just recently had a show that I hosted. He had 2 shows, 2 nice crowds, sold-out shows, and something stuck out to me. At the end of the show, he was like, I'll see you guys in February. That's the next show that he'll have in Houston. And I was just like, he used to not perform weekly, but he sees them. They see him all the time on the internet.
Oh, okay. So he's like not having to rely on
touring.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I would love a balance of all of that. So a podcast, they can see you weekly. You could film it, once or twice a week or twice a month, if you do the change. And so that's the plan now. I think my problem though is I don't listen to podcasts.
Well, honestly, that's probably a good thing though. I will say my show, you'll learn how
but
to
you
stop.
listen to podcasts.
But
You have a favorite.
my show, I created with other podcasts in mind. So it's kind of cool to be able to have that clean slate and not have any bias or like
Okay.
pre-judgments or decisions about the way that it's going to go.
Okay. So how did you come up with your name?
This hits different. Okay. So it's kind of like,
Has it ever been changed? Has it always been that?
before this, I had a show. It was called You're Not the Worst. That one was like purely dating. I had a co-host, do contracts, lots of contracts.
Okay. Thank you.
Let me just tell you one thing.
Yeah.
I started it in college. So I started it back in like 2020, I think, and started it with my roommate and best friend at the time. I've talked about this on the podcast, and I mean, I'm not going to like out her and like blast her or anything, but
We know who you are.
things did not go well. We were doing it for fun, but I was always kind of like, no, I want to make this a career. And then she just ultimately didn't. So I was heartbroken. I felt like I had just lost my first child. Like imagine like everything that you've been building with comedy and someone just like takes it away from you. Like that's how I felt when this show ended. I've put so much of my heart and soul into this and whatever. And that show ultimately didn't work out and I was heartbroken. I was like, okay, I know I need to start over. Starting over just seemed so daunting to me at the time.
Of course.
We had 40 something episodes out and I was like, damn, like I got to start from the beginning again. And now this time I'm doing it all alone. I don't have another person to help me because we kind of divided and conquered ish. I was like, I have to like get new social accounts and like start from zero again. Like that sucks.
Yeah.
Having to start from the ground up.
Yeah, no.
We had like decent engagement or like what I thought was good at the time.
I
It was
got
like
you.
it was like 30,000 views or like whatever. And I was like, oh my God, I've made it.
Yeah.
But now it's like at the end of the day, like I was the one that was doing that. It wasn't her. So this one social media girl said to me, you've done it before, you can do it again.
Oh, that's what they say.
But then I like doubled it and tripled it. And like I've had like random fucking TikToks blow up. Of course, they're the ones that I don't need to blow up. But
that's the
like
way.
one of them has like 6.1 million views. But now I'm like always striving for that again.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it
that
is
makes it
kinda
hard.
like-
That makes it very hard
Yeah.
to do content. Even for me as a comedian, it's like you get a video that does well. I find myself not wanting to post another video because I don't want to.
See, I'm the opposite. I'd chase it. I'd chase the high.
I'm like, this ain't gonna be as good as this one.
Yeah. But I feel like I've just been stuck like with my following. I don't even have a massive following on TikTok. They don't go anywhere. My people are loyal.
Hello.
So that's good. My numbers aren't fluctuating. But I'm like, okay, I like it to go. But I'm also just like being so impatient. I'm like, God's timing is perfect. I'll do it.
Yes, you definitely got to trust the process. So, and I think a part of that will change as you build a team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it just starts off with, there is somebody out there that is interested, that wants to know. And it starts with you being vocal
Yeah.
about that. And then you just build up a freaking team of somebody that maybe not everything, you don't trust them with everything.
Yeah.
Because another bad problem about having a team, unfortunately, is now their vote counts. It's not just what you want. So I
You
have
have a team with comedy?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a content creator, and I honestly kind of hate to call her a content creator because she's like, I say this to her, she's like my emotional support dog. I would travel with her a lot, and she would just record almost everything I did. So that helped me. I want to say my fourth or fifth year in is when I really, I think we've been working together for like 3 years. So yeah, 4 or 5 years in, that helped because then people got to see me from the lens, not from my lens, but they got to view it. And that made a difference.
Yeah.
Having somebody record, and this is, I don't know if you're familiar with Kanye West. He has a documentary that he released a couple years ago, like 2 years ago or so. Crazy. And I don't even watch a lot of stuff like that, but he literally had his Grammy acceptance speech at like 17, 16. And he talked about, somebody recorded that. Do you understand the power of seeing somebody manifest or believe in themselves at such a young age?
Yeah.
And having that on film to now all these years later to see it. I mean, chills when I watched it. So
you have chills now.
I know,
Either that or
I'm
it's cold
just
in here.
yeah, it is. but no, like, so what she does for me, in that regard. And then again, I'm an entertainer, so there's a lot of different things that you battle with, just while having to be, this positive front, constantly, and then dealing with things in silence.
Actually blast the ugly stuff too
Yeah.
on the podcast and on like social media, and that's something I really intentionally try to do. Sometimes though it does feel like I'm like craving attention, but I like when I'm doing stuff and I'm having like a bad day or a bad whatever, and I like what I do is I talk about things.
Yeah.
Like I beat it to death. But with social media, like it's weird because like I want to be true and authentic, but it comes across sometimes as like wanting attention. I always try to do it. No, guys, like, look, my life is not all that. I just lost my job. I have $20,000 in debt. I got student loans out the ass. Like, it's so there's those things. And I do try to be transparent about it. But then sometimes it gets like really like depressing. Like I'll talk about it in the podcast. I'm like, wow, that was a really sad episode. So it has its ups and downs.
Okay, so for me, I view myself as Beyonce.
Same.
Like
as you should.
I'm like Beyonce.
By the
ain't
way, thank
telling
you,
it.
Beyonce.
Yeah, I'm Beyonce at comedy. I don't share like the ugly and bad on social media. I have my people, and I will communicate with my people and tell them. And so I do think that helps in regards to the image.
Yeah.
I do think that people view me as like, oh, she has her shit together. Not to say that I don't.
Yeah.
Like I do get up and I get to it, and I do work very hard. That's not a facade. I did go to New York on my own dollar 2 weeks after I lost my job. It was a pre-planned trip that I'd already started investing in, and I rented out a room, an empty room, and I filled it with a futon. I bought a desk and built a desk together. I bought a chair. I bought a little dresser. I bought a fridge. I bought a rug. It was important for me to make it feel homey.
Yeah.
To be comfortable in that space.
Yeah.
Not just a fucking blow up mattress and some covers. Now, I did take most of that shit back, but
you're like, I need to return this. Thank you.
I did return it, but I also left things there so that I would have the flexibility and ability to visit again, or if they were renting the room out again. Because it is somebody that I know, but I think that when I left, the people that lived there pretty much, the guy's like, I'm taking that rug. And I'm just like, why would you do that? Like, go buy your own damn rug.
Yeah.
Like, let this be a space that can be rented out.
Yeah.
But, it's not my space. So I don't ever harp over different things. And in the field that I do, like, money comes and goes. Not to say that I got it like that, but things happen every day, B.
Yeah. You never know.
You never know. Like, people message me often about gigs and opportunities and that sort of thing. I got a message at 1 a.m. I responded at 7 a.m. It wasn't what I wanted, but I asked for more, and I'm just waiting for them to decide if they.
I don't think there's anything wrong with asking for more either. I think it's like so hard, especially for women, to be able to say, no, I deserve this, but we fucking do.
Well, what happens is sometimes they say yes.
Yeah. And
so it's like if you didn't ask.
Yeah, you'll never know.
You'll never know.
Okay, back to the manifesting and like angel numbers and everything. So mine is 1111, which is like it's pretty common. Everyone has it. I got it tattooed.
Cute.
I'm gonna do a little like sticker sleeve on this arm, I think.
What do you mean sticker sleeve? Like just
it's like
small?
I'm like pulling the mic away. Like a bunch of little small ones all over.
I've never seen that. Sticker sleeve.
You just don't know what it's called, but I'll show you. Like Miley Cyrus's tattoos, like where they're all.
Nobody is looking at Miley Cyrus's tattoos.
Okay, yes they are. And two, anyways, I'm gonna do more on this arm. But so 1111 is kind of like my thing. It's like a thing on our family.
Is it yours or is it everybody's?
It's everybody's, but it's mine too.
Okay,
like
I got you.
I've always seen, as a lot of people do, 1111. But basically, it means you're on the right path. It's your angel numbers, and it's like for success and like.
Don't they all mean the same thing?
I think they kind of do.
We're not gonna ruin it. We're not gonna ruin it.
But anyways, so I got this tattooed on 11/11 because November 11th is my day. That's my manifestation day. That's my woo-woo day. Every 11/11, every November 11th, I sit down and I have a friend that I do this with. She's an artist. And every 11/11, we sit down and we make vision boards.
Oh, I love it.
Not only what we want to accomplish the next year specifically, but also in the future.
I love it.
And we have a bunch of different categories like finance, dating, career, you know, her music, me, podcast, like all kinds of things. Whenever you're talking about Kanye and everything, it made me think of this, but I write myself letters to the future. So,
to the future, okay.
Yeah, to my future self.
That's different.
I'll sit down and write myself a letter of like what's going on and where I'm at. It's really fun. I'm really funny with it. I'll be like, "Hey, bitch," or like, "Hey, future Riley." Hope you're doing well. Like, I'm not. But anyways, I don't remember exactly everything. We started it about 2 years ago, so this year will be the third. And
definitely sounds like something that eventually will be a thing.
Yeah.
Come to 11/11 with me.
Exactly.
I can definitely see that.
I have this is actually one of the podcast fonts too. So one of the fonts I use is called Quincy.
That's something I need to get into. I need to get in. Like that's just something that I wish that I had.
What?
A person like fonts and stuff. Like I don't have a favorite. So when I go, so I'm working on my pitch deck for the podcast. So we've been.
I sent you mine, right? I think
yes,
I did. Okay,
you did send me yours, and so I opened it and I'm like, I need to create.
Yeah.
A pitch deck, and I've been working on. And so one of the things I struggle with is like colors and fonts and all that kind of stuff. It's like but it's dope when you know.
I have the play-by-play of how to do this because this is like what I used to do. I did this a lot, like freelancing in Nashville for artists. So I'd do cover arts and do creative direction and kind of do this for each project that they were working on, whether it was a single or an album or EP.
You're
or
hired.
Whatever. Say less. That was me petting myself. Start with Pinterest boards. Like, really nail down. And it doesn't even need to be like podcast specific, just anything that fits the overall vibe of what you're going for.
So give me an example of what should I type in Pinterest?
Let me tell you what I did for This Hits Different specifically.
And she never got to the end of the story. She got so delayed.
Wait, what story was I even telling?
You were supposed to tell me how you got to the name.
Honestly, it's like not that.
This hits different.
This hits different, yeah. It's really not that exciting. It's
I understand
just like a popular.
The other one ended. Now, where did the name come from?
Hits different and like, oh, like that shit hits different. Like it's just a popular Gen Z. No, it's like a Gen Z saying. Like you hear it a lot on TikTok and all this stuff. And obviously,
It wasn't even a play for music.
So not originally. I remember writing. I actually still have the little paper somewhere, but I was in class. I was in college at the time. I was in my senior year, and I was like writing all this stuff down. And I should have been paying attention in class, but I'm like doodling like podcast names, and there was just a lot. But I remember saying Gen Z terms, and because that's kind of my audience is like millennial Gen Z, younger people. Like no boomers in here.
Yeah, damn.
So how old are you?
I'm old as hell.
How old are you?
39.
You are not 39.
Shh, yes, I am. I'll be 40 in January.
Oh,
yeah, boomer over here.
Okay, you're not a fucking boomer.
Okay.
What are you, Gen X?
I guess.
Or like a millennial. Actually, you might be a millennial.
Millennial?
Yeah. Shut the fuck up. I did not. Blacks don't crack, bitch.
Yes.
Damn. You're so fucking good.
Jared's 39.
Yeah, but like.
He's a guy. Okay.
He's a guy. But like, no, but like, your forehead is perfect. Like your skin is flawless.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, definitely. I feel great. I don't feel, and I have thought about, should I just start saying a younger age? Because I'm pretty sure that's what Beyonce is doing. Like, Beyonce is not, shut up, okay? Like, girl.
How old does she say that she is?
How old is Beyonce? That is 43.
43.
Beyonce's 4 years older than me. Shut up. Her and my brother went to school together.
Oh, really? That's a flex.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was, this was right before, it was middle school.
Yeah.
So it was right before, like, she really, like, popped off or whatever.
Yeah. I know. Houston has so much talent that comes out of it. I don't think that people talk about that enough. Like, Beyonce, Megan Thee Stallion, Travis Scott. There's just so much talent that, like, comes out of.
Well, you know, Houston is huge.
It's also huge. Yeah, that's a good point.
So it's
Yeah.
like, the chances are the chances. Something that they say is that your hometown won't love you. But
And then they like move away and do something, and then you're like, oh yeah, like we went to school together.
I know her.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Girl, you didn't know that girl. Shut up.
Yeah, you're like, bitch. Hopefully someone says that about us one day, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're amping it up. They're
Yeah.
ready. I get so many. I did I was on BT in June for Miss Pat Show. It wasn't, it was like a segment on a show.
Yeah.
And the amount of shares and tags and inboxes.
Oh yeah, all these people who like
Get the hell out of here. I've been doing comedy for 8 years. Where the hell? You
haven't even come to a single show.
Girl. But I am a person that I don't feed into that.
Yeah.
You have some people, again, I'm Beyonce, you have some people that feed into the people that don't support them. I could care less. Not like, I love doing stand-up. I love doing comedy, and I do this for me. I don't do it for the other people. And a lot of times when you invite people to come to shows or tell them about a show, then they want to like be up under you or think that they're there to hang. Oh, I'm gonna come check out your show. They think they're there to hang out, and I'm working.
Yeah, and you're like,
this is I get paid.
Yeah, you're like, I can't stand here and talk to you and hold your hands all day. I gotta go work this crowd. I gotta go chat and mingle.
I need more fans. I need more people that want to invest or maybe even watch. One thing that I just signed up for this is random, Amazon influencer.
Okay, so I don't have enough followers yet to do influencer, but I was doing Amazon. There's like another thing where you can like get links, kind of similar to the affiliate, I think. I don't know, but they wouldn't let me into that because they were like, "You're not important enough," and I said, "Okay, thank you." Do you have? Not enough. Like, I have a little over 2,000 on Instagram and 13 something on TikTok.
I just signed up for it, and I have to again. This is the thing that is hard. Like, I have to deep dive on the new Pocket. I have to like deep dive on that. I just started editing more of my videos with CapCut. Something I know it's supposed to be faster and easier. I still don't know all of the tricks, the like shortcuts and that sort of thing. It took me 8 years to get to this point. My problem is like in real time, I'm also busy. I'm also touring. Where do I go this week? I'm going. I didn't even mention this. I just finished an auctioneer program. And
wait, to do like the like
30, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Can we give you 80, 90, 90, $100 now?
Wait, that's so fun.
Yeah, so I just did that. And I will be sitting for my state test to get my state license in the next 3 weeks.
To do auctioneer?
Yeah.
You have to go through schooling and testing?
Yeah, so you have to do like 83 hours of schooling.
No way.
Yeah, and then you have to be licensed.
I did not know that was a thing.
Yeah,
well, that's
it's
good. I guess
actually a very supportive community.
Really?
Very supportive. I literally got a phone call from somebody from the Texas Auctioneer Association because I joined the Texas Auction Association and I've joined the National Auction Association as well. So I'm a part of these two different organizations, and their whole thing is like, how can we help you get started? So the first thing for me is, though, I need to pass the test. So my plan is to do benefits, auctions, so galas,
get plugged in with River Oaks and there you go.
Yeah.
All the fuck you money and the donations and foundations that they probably got going on over there.
And so I was actually on the phone with the Texas Association today. So it's like, I need to learn that. I need to complete the podcast things. I want to do the Amazon influencer. And the thing about it is, it's all about buckets. It's all about having multiple buckets, because I personally don't want to go back to a full-time gig.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, I know you said, we'll do anything, but me being in this creative space is like unmatched. No, girl, I don't even want to be here when I'm here, and half the stuff I'm doing it right at the last minute. But I did my job, and that just came from me being a good-hearted person. Like, I did the work.
Yeah. It's hard because I air everything on social media. That's not going to change.
Yeah, no.
Obviously.
Same. So that's why it's important that we do all of the buckets.
Yeah.
And that was the purpose. And that was one of the reasons why I traveled down the thought of doing auctioneering. It's just, I thought it was going to be another bucket. But to be honest, I've learned so much from going to the school that it really is bigger than just a bucket.
Yeah.
Like it really is a career. And again, they're very welcoming in the market of it, or in the field. Like I've gotten so many different calls from them, just making sure, do I need anything? And it's just so supportive.
Yeah.
So I look forward to that. Like I said, the next thing is to pass the test. So
Yeah.
hopefully
Well,
by 11/11,
yeah,
that will be completed.
I feel like I could keep talking to you for hours, but
Yeah.
obviously
So
the podcast.
she gotta have me back.
Exactly.
Period.
Part 2.
Yes. Because there is still so much more, and I know you want me to tell the people where they can find me.
Actually, you don't do that on this show. No, I'm fucking with you. Yeah.
Yes.
Plug all the things.
You can find me on all social media. It's Lotto Marie. It's like what you win. It's LOTTO MARIE. And you know, my slogan is I just want to win. It's not just about me winning. It's about everybody around me winning. So that includes you. I want to see your podcast win. I want to see you win, and I want to see you continue to create more buckets of opportunities for yourself and continue to flourish. You have all of the things, you have all of the equipment, and you are a personality. You have an it factor to yourself, and you take it serious. So make sure you don't give up.
Thank you. So do
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I'll be motivational speaking too. You check
I'm
my
like,
website out. I'll put that down too.
Just add life coach, whatever that bullshit is. Do you have any shows coming up?
The end of October, I'll be in Raleigh, North Carolina with
Raleigh.
I'm not going to say what it's called because I think you told me this before.
It's Raleigh.
Raleigh.
I'm Riley. That's Raleigh.
Raleigh.
You gotta like swallow it.
Raleigh.
There you go. Raleigh.
I'm not going to say it when I'm on stage because I'm going to butcher it and they're going to be like,
hey.
What's up, North Carolina? I'll be there. And then in November, I will be going to, with Jared, I'm going to St. Louis, but I'm also going with Michael Collier to Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay, that's another one that you botched.
Yeah.
Louisville.
It's not Louisville?
No. You know, and here's the tea. When I lived in Tennessee, I learned that because
Louisville.
Yeah, I said Louisville. Louisville is what I used to say. And then all my friends from Kentucky, all my one friend was like, no, bitch, you're saying it wrong. And I was like, what is it? She's like, Louisville. And I was like, what the fuck? She's like, Louisville. And I was like, huh? And she's like, you
not saying that either.
You got to swallow it.
Oh
Louisville.
my God.
Louisville.
I can't say that one. So
Louisville. You're just like, what's up, Kentucky?
Kentucky. Hey.
Okay, anyway.
I'm from the Midwest, so I think I pronounce things jacked up. The podcast is definitely in the works. We were already doing it. We were doing it on our own. And so within the last week,
is there things out already?
No.
Oh, okay.
So we recorded at least 7 different episodes. We never really released it. Again, we were just, getting situated. We didn't want to, you start something and you tell everybody you started it.
And then
Yeah. So we didn't want to do that, which is dope. But from what we've done, enough people have seen it, sparked interest. And so now there's a studio that is interested in picking it up.
Awesome.
And we still control creative control over it. And so we would shoot it there and they would produce it for us. And we have a meeting with them on this Friday. So that's why I'm getting the pitch deck ready.
Okay.
If you type that in any platform and you could Google me, you can go to my website, www.lottomarie.com.
Awesome. Alrighty, everybody. And you know where you can find me at This Hits Different Podcast on Instagram and YouTube. You can find my personal accounts at Hosted by Riley Nelson on everything. And go check out the website, submit some stories, submit whoever you want me to have next, all the tea. Tell me how your day was. Fuck around. But you can do that on my website at www.thishitsdifferent.com. Bye, guys.
Peace.